Hey everyone, it's Orange. I finally have a functional and successful YOLO DB10 team. So, I wanted to show you guys some runs, explain why I think my team is working out so well, and also show you my runes and explain them, my skill ups, and my glory shop buildings. So, this team right here has had, counting this run, 307 successful runs and 9 failed runs. That's equivalent to about a 97% success rate, a little bit more than 97%. I'm very happy with that number. And the run times range between 1 minute and 15 seconds and 1 minute and 40 seconds. I would probably say on average they finish around 1 minute and 30 seconds. Not too happy about that. I kind of wish they'd be a little bit faster, but with such a high success rate overall, I'm very happy with how my team is performing right now. I know faster times will come eventually. I will progress into a double Tarq team and have even faster times, but I have to keep farming my runes, and that comes a little bit later. So let's just focus on this team right now. From what I've seen on Reddit, if you have Verde and Galleon, generally the format to your first YOLO DB10 team is going to be Verde, Galleon, Tarq, +2. The most common +2s that I've seen and heard of, I will list them off: Theo, Sig, Shaolin, Hua, Stella, Chilling, I think I'm missing some. Tayor, and I think that was it. So I've heard of Hua being really popular. A lot of people, or a couple people I've seen, have really liked Chilling too. So 2 weeks ago on Free Rune Removal, I tested out some of those teams. My +2 right now, the +2 that worked the best for me were Theo and Megan. So I tested Chilling out, tested Hua, tested Theo with those, and those teams didn't really work. But with that testing and with a ton of failed runs, I was able to watch the runs and see what was working and what wasn't. So I wrote out a list of the things that I think attribute to my team's high success rate. The first thing is double attack buff. I was running teams with only Galleon with only 1 attack buff. It's very important when you face the final dragon boss that you do a ton of damage to him almost immediately, so you're going to need to get the defense break on him very quickly. You want that attack buff on your team so they do more damage to him as well. I don't know if the dragon's a he or a she. I probably shouldn't be assuming the dragon's gender in 2017, should I, guys? So I was noticing that my team wouldn't do enough damage to the dragon when my Galleon wouldn't time to loot because he had it on cooldown or whatever. So on my team, I have 2 attack buffers. I was also noticing, well, on Reddit, I had seen a lot of people say that they really liked Chilling. It does help to have that backup buff remover with Megan with her toad poison because she can really save some runs. If the boss gets immunity buff, we can see probably almost all these runs, the boss will get immunity and she'll remove it. I was looking on Reddit and people were saying that you need to basically kill the boss, like have him down to about 30% health when he gets that immunity buff. But sometimes that doesn't happen with my team, so Megan's just that extra security. I also have 2 defense breakers. I think that's pretty important. Galleon is my main one, and then Theo is my secondary one. I was noticing that Galleon would sometimes miss his defense break, which is no good, and Theo just helps with that. Theo was my first choice for damage dealer anyways, so I would have chosen him, but I do think the double defense break helps out. Also, turn order matters, sort of, but overall I think your rune quality kind of overpowers that. You're gonna need good runes to do this. 3 out of 5 of my monsters have some of my best runes on them. Every one of these monsters is on Violent besides Megan because I have her on Swift for my arena offense and she's working out just fine. I think Violent's pretty important for speed DB10, so your nukers get to move more often and do more damage, and so your Galleon has his skills up and stuff like that. And if he misses his defense break, he might Violent proc and go again and stuff. But rune quality, my Galleon, Megan, and Theo have some really good runes on them. And then Verde and Tarq are pretty high up for priority for my runes. This month I had a pretty hard time figuring out how to spread my runes out among my monsters, but thankfully I was able to come up with a team that had some of my best runes. Definitely not necessary if you're super endgame. You might not be using your best rune monsters in dragons. Sometimes it works out that way if you're using Teor and stuff like that, and you have him runed very well. So I talked about Violent. Let's talk about turn order. Generally, everyone suggests to have Galleon move first. My Megan ended up moving before him, so they may overlap their attack buffs. But because I have Megan runed very fast, because sometimes I use her in PvP as the only lone attack bar booster monster, so she moves first, but you want Galleon moving first so he defense breaks things. That way all of your damage dealers have that defense break on the monsters to follow up with their damage with. And then a lot of people suggest to have your Verde move last. That way your whole team moves, their attack bar is 0 or very low. And then Verde can boost up a ton of attack bar. So that's how I have my Verde runed. I think you can probably rune him very fast if you want, like the fastest monster on your team. But I just found for me it's easier to give him slower runes and make him work out. When we go over the runes, I will explain each monster's build after this. Also, you may not have to worry too much about turn order, like where Tarq moves and stuff like that. I have my Tarq moving second to last, so I think right before Verde. I think that's probably the most ideal, but I'm sure you can get away with having your middle monsters moving like differently, like Tarq moving before Theo or whatever. Don't think it matters too much for the middle monsters. Those are just small things to pay attention to, but overall I think rune quality is going to be the main thing that makes or breaks your team, not necessarily like the nitpicky turn order sort of deal. Okay, so let's see, is there anything else? Slow. So I have 2 defense breakers, 2 attack buffers. Very important to get a ton of damage on that dragon when you first get to him. The final dragon, him, she, he, them, whatever the pronoun is. And also slow. A lot of people were saying that they like to use Hua and chilling too. I used Hua, I tested her, and the slow did help a little bit. When you get it on that dragon and push his attack bar back, it helps because Hua can really push a ton of attack bar back. Even if the dragon gets immunity, his attack bar is already so low that you can kind of have more time to power through him and kill him. So that slow does help. My team does not have one, as you guys can see, so I got away without it, but it does help if you have it. Okay, so that was that. Let's go over my runes and explain them. The first monster is Verde. I think it's almost necessary you have him on Violent Revenge. You can't really go any other way. My Verde right now, I switched him over to a more damagey build because I thought it would help just having that much more damage to power through it, because we are going very YOLO here. We need to go quick and kill things quickly. So 100% crit rate for his passive, of course, and then his speed, I have him as the slowest monster on the team, and that's pretty much it, you know? I tried to get as much damage on him as possible. I didn't worry about his health at all. I previously had him on like a tankier build because I was using a safer team before this one. I was using Verde, Vero, Bella, Theo, Sig. So I switched him over. Honestly, I can't really notice a difference. Really, like, I can't tell that he's doing a lot of damage, but I'm sure he is. I'm sure all the little bit more damage that he's doing really adds up. So that's Verde. And then the next monster, Megan, I'm not going in the turn order, I'm just choosing them randomly. So I have her rune for PvP because I'm heavily prioritizing my AO at the moment to give it really good runes and perform well, just because I want to finish Guardian 1 again and multiple times, just to push it to the limit sort of thing. We're gonna do it up. Even though I am, wait, did I already do these? Oh my gosh, I'm talking, I think I did. Just because I am doing that. I'm wasting crystals, not being efficient there, but it's okay because that's what I want to do and what I have fun doing arena. So she's on Will because of Leo's. She's just on Swift to make her very fast because sometimes I use her by herself in Guild Wars as the only attack bar booster, and also sometimes I use her... Oh no, my chicken's done. I gotta go get my chicken. Look how burned my chicken got. I'm just kidding. That's the sauce I put on it, but it is kind of a little bit overdone. We have a couple more monsters to go over. Here's Galleon. I built him as a tank Galleon, violent, because I use him in Guild Wars frequently. I also use him other places, but for Guild Wars I like him tanky, so that's how I have him. I'm sure damage Galleon could probably help slightly, but that's him. Revenge on him might not be bad, but I don't have that. Can't support it right now. And we have 2 more monsters to go over, my damage dealers. Here is my Theo Mars. I have very good runes on him because he works so well in so many places of the game. Violent, of course, very heavy damage build. And I do have some HP on him for PvP, mainly Guild Wars, and I do have him on my arena defense at the moment, so that's Theo Mars. Here is Tarq, again, violent, and then turn order I kind of went over it, but I think he's probably best right before Verde on my team, and fully skilled. I do have my second Tarq ready to be 6-starred, and I think my second one just needs one more skill up, but yeah, I'm working on that because I know eventually I most likely will use 2 Tarqs because that's just what I've seen everyone do. Here are my Glory Shop buildings too. I almost forgot those. These are also very important, probably almost up there with Rune quality. You're gonna need these upgraded, so start on them early because they are very useful everywhere. So that's finally it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you guys later.